Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 24th of August. Starting with the Nasdaq on the daily chart, and we'll just drill in from here into the intraday, and we'll also have a look at some of the Nasdaq stocks as well and see how they're traveling. And then we'll have a look at the S&P 500. So the count to the upside here still leaves more room to the upside. That's the takeaway here. And we are at this, what I call a medium level here, 11,500. So I expect some type of correction to occur across this particular level here. And the idea is we really want to wait for the first high above the level to come in to play. And then look for a trade setup in across this level here. But the count here is, I've been looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up for wave 3 here, and we're looking for a wave 4 and then a wave 5 to the upside here. And yeah, so between wave 2 and 3 here in blue, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Now, as always, I count this in a conservative manner in terms of the shortest distance to the upside, and then just build on that. So it's possible that the market can move higher, but first of all I just want to see this sequence between wave 4 here and wave 5 here finish off at this point. So that's really our job at the moment, is to understand this particular structure here. So based on that, we're going to move into the intraday on the 4-hour chart, picking it up from this green wave 4 here, and looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and then up for 5 here. In terms of wave 5, we're looking for wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then we're also looking for 5 waves in this particular structure here. Now, as I mentioned, I work the wave structure in the most conservative manner in terms of looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Now, once we get to the end here and we've counted all our waves up here and we find ourselves a top here, then any move above that top there, then we start making adjustments to the wave count. And that could mean that this is wave 1 here and 2 here, then another wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5. So a bit of a building on the fractals, but we need to move past that first. So this little structure from wave 4 here to wave 5 here, we need to understand that first. So on the hourly chart here, that's this wave 4 here, we looked at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and then working up for wave 5 here now. So within that, I'm assuming wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then wave 5 here. So with this wave 5 here, I'm also assuming we got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we'll be looking at wave 3, 4 and 5, something like this, finishing off here. And then we want to see this type of, we want to see a correction here. So then these ones here, they will become the catalyst for long trades to the upside. We may be able to get a better position than that further down here once we understand things, but that first reference point is critical at that point. So, and to the upside here, the levels are, well, we've got the medium level here at 500. Then we've got, well, 600 is important too. I don't want to throw, you know, the baby out with the bathwater, but 650, 720 and 800 are group 2 here. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And in terms of some of the stocks to the upside, they're all a little bit different, and we'll have a little bit of a look. But we've been looking, I'll start with Amazon, because we've been looking at Amazon, and you can see here that this market has got further to move to the upside here. If I assume that this is an A and a B and a C here for either this wave 4 or this wave 4, then we look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, and I'm assuming this is 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 here. We still need little wave 5 to come in here, then 4, then 5, and then 4, and then 5 up. So this has still got plenty to go to the upside. So we need to take that on board with the Nasdaq as well. But as I mentioned with the Nasdaq, we really want to move past those reference point highs in that instance, you know, so steady as she goes, but this has certainly got further to go to the upside. Now, as I mentioned, all the stocks can be slightly different in their own little way. Alphabet here is quite similar to Amazon in its way. I've labeled this particular wave 4 here in this case, and we're looking for, let's get this in the frame, looking for 1 and 2 here, and up for wave 3. We know wave 4 is going to be across these old highs here, and then wave 5 up. So we could be looking at 1650, which is also another medium level. I won't go into that at the moment, but it carries the same weight as the 1500 here, or slightly less because 5 is the second strongest number, but it certainly carries weight, and it's what we'll be looking at. It also means that you know, 16 is important as well, but in the bigger picture, and you won't see this until later on, the 1650 will become more important. So, takeaway here is that this market has still got further to go, so we're still in a bullish trend. Okay, and that's with Amazon and Google. Then we can kind of break things down a little bit. What can I bring up next here? It's just a bit of a mixed watch list. Okay, so Apple. So with Apple here, if I look at this here as 1 and 2 in here and 3 and 4 in here, as we have been looking, then I can see that from this point here, if I can just bring that across here, we've got up for wave 1 and 2 here, so we've got 1 and 2 here. So this is just the third wave arriving here. So it may push up a little bit higher here, that's okay. And wave 4 and wave 5 to finish this off here for Apple in that regard there. So we can lift that up there a little bit for that. And then we'll see wave 4 and wave 5 of wave 1, because that's what we're looking for, that top there. But we also kind of want to tie it in with the elections to a point as well. And I feel that the elections will give us this wave 2, but the timing may be completely wrong, you know. So it's just something. There's something else may come out of the woodwork to accommodate that. And just want to have a look at a couple more. Square, it's one of our Square and PayPal, or one of our things. So to get this move up here, we've been looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we're still looking for another high here in this case. It's already got a high there, so I think it's just about done in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much done. So we'll see some sort of correction here in that. So this is operating in a different space. And there was one other I've seen further down, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix was interesting because you know, it's kind of way behind the curve here and looking very weak as well here. But if it finds support on the 500, we'll look to go long, and we'll bring that trigger down at that particular point here. But it can count quite nicely as a corrective wave to this point. But to make it an ABC here and not something more bearish here, we need to take that top out here for this. Yeah, so let's just see if we climb on here, which we should do. Climb back on the 500 and get back in the saddle and mosey off down into the sunset. So let's have a look at, after looking at this, we'll look at the S&P. It's the NASDAQ. I'm just going to move this one over to here. So this count has given me a bit of grief, and but what I have understood about this market is that all the way up, even from the working from the low here, you know, we've seen nothing but impulse waves all the way up through here. So I've just stayed on the bullish track, and I know the people that called this bearish in here, they've been calling it bearish here and here and here and here and so on and so on. But we've got to stay with the evidence, and we're not seeing any 5 wave structures to the downside just yet. Now we know that obviously the 34 was going to give us a little bit of grief at this point, and it has made things a little bit ugly in here in terms of the wave count, and I also want to readdress that there as well. But we're still seeing bullish moves here for this, and so we can expect it to continue higher. I don't know if this count is right, by the way. You know, I've done my sort of best with it, and gone over, you know, every sort of little bit of it, and it does count 5 waves to here with an ABC here. It counts 5 waves to this point here. So we could look at this as 1 and ABC for 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave in here, and fifth wave here for the third wave. I don't know if this should be put over here on this one here, put to this point, because it does look rather impulsive to this point. But it may have to go over here. This hasn't been easy to count as well, but we've had variations on this. In terms of our trades for this now, what we wanted to see is we wanted to see the old high here at 3400 become the tested support, and for that we need a, well, I just want to show something else here, by the way. This is the S&P 400, okay? So that's in the frame, yeah. So in this case here, we can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5 here with a nice ABC pattern here. So really that takes on a nice wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here. This can be wave 3 here. Now I know that it's like this is in squares here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit here. So wave 3 is smaller here than wave 1. Now wave 3 can be smaller if wave 5 here is smaller than this one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So we can still move up further. And the other point here too is we're approaching 2000 here. So that really makes it, that's going to be a bit of a stopping block here. But also what I wanted to point out here, so it could be counted as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 to here or to here. Now we can't count the S&P 500 like that because this move on the S&P is too short for a wave 3. Now this move up here is interests me a lot, because from here I can count 1 and 2 here, and then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into this space here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here. So this can be counted from this low as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here quite nicely, and then up for wave 5 here. So we could have 5 waves in this little structure here. Right now, if this is going to move up from this point, if we look at this, well, here, if we count this as wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, that makes all of that wave 3 there, doesn't it? So in that instance here, then we're going to be looking at this roughly here, coming back into the 38.2% retracement level, or the 1900 is going to give us a nice support there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if this is an A and a B and a C here, and then having another little move to the upside here. But if it's moving to the upside here, which you kind of expect it to do, then we'll need to look at this as wave 1 and ABC for wave 2 here, and then wave 3 and 4 and 5. And if that's the case, then we better pay attention to these last 5 waves in this space here, because that will also be a turning point, and that will reflect back in the S&P 500 as well. So I just thought that that's interesting. It's interesting because it's a little bit clearer, that's all. So coming back into this space here, we're really just working in here. So let's just go into the 4-hour chart here. Now I've adjusted this here, this first of all to this section here as an A wave here, a B wave here and a C wave here, and then looking up here for 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 and 5 up to here, and then having a corrective count from that particular point there. I'm looking at this as wave 4 here. As I mentioned with the other market, the S&P 400, we may have to bring that over to this point over here, but for time being we'll just leave it as it is. If I look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then wave 3 is roughly the same size as wave 1 here. In Elliott terms, if wave 1 and wave 3 are the same size, then the extension is going to be in wave 5 here. So I'm quite happy with that for the time being. And like I said, I always like to start from the, build from a very conservative base and build steady on that. So if we look at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, and then we're looking up here for 5, then we need to be mindful about that. And this is the pattern that we looked at before. So the classic trading levels pattern. So the arrival and the reaction. So the arrival, and this is the reaction in this case. And then we're looking for the first high above the level here. So this is the first high above the level here. And then we want to see it fold over from that point. And then that will give us our setups from that reference point top here and this one here for this. So let's go in and have a closer look at that on the hourly chart. So this is first of all wave 3 here, an A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave here for wave B, and down for wave C here, and then looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then we'll look at this here as 5 waves up. I think that's wave 1 top here with wave 2 here, so we'll see wave 3, 4 and 5 sort of diminish like that, wave 4 to come back, and wave 5 up here. So we're going to be bullish into this beginning of the week here for this. But then I expect it to fold over. Now, what about if it doesn't fold over? That's okay, because at 3,400 here, the group 1 for that would be 10, 20 and 30. So if we get a tested support on top of 30, then we'll go long again. Now the tested support needs to be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then it needs to give us an ABC correction here, and then give us those those reference points, and then we can move up from that point. And that will tell me, if that's going to occur, that's going to tell me that we're going to be leaving the 3,400 at that point. If we get support on top of group 1, it means that the market is leaving this number here, and then we have to look higher up, further up. Well, the next one is the midpoint at that point, and then further up again from that we'll have to look up to the 3,500 at that point. But we'll get there when we get there with that. I'm not going to call any trades in at this point here, because this is just I know we knew the market would struggle up into this number, and it would have a lot of problems up here, and the wave count will get skewed, and it's an old top, and we need to see a clear setup. But that all said, we should see this market push higher early in the week here for this. So I'll leave it at that, and yeah, so thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Cheers.